Yo, what's good, guys? Your boy Shine back one more time. If you've been around me long enough, you know about my legit love for anime. I'm all about representation and finding characters who feel like you. This video is my personal tribute to my favorite black characters in anime, the ones who shaped how I see strength, leadership, heart, and hustle on screen. In no particular order, by the way. You'll probably end up seeing a lot of similarities with these characters, which should probably tell you a lot about me. Alright, so we're gonna get super personal, super nerdy, and real about what makes these characters so beloved and why I personally relate to them. Let's get into it. So, first off, I'm from Brooklyn. I grew up at a time when anime wasn't the vibe, okay? Especially in the black community. But look at us now. Anime is everywhere, and representation matters more than ever today. If you love these characters that I'm gonna recommend, or if you have your own personal picks, I would love for you to shout them out and drop a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel, and let's dive right in. So, first up, we got Wonger from Gachiakuta. Wonger is a character that fans know from the Gachiakuta universe, a world that blends sharp humor, chaotic energy, and a kind of streetwise wit. He's the kind of character who keeps things lively even when the stakes are high. He's the trickster with a big mouth and a bigger heart, using humor as a shield. It's a way to push his friends towards what they need to face. He moves fast, but he talks even faster, and still his loyalty is just as loud as his punchlines. I personally just love the way that he lightens the load, while still being super solid and loyal. That's hard to find. He's a reminder that humor isn't a distraction from the pain. It can actually be a lifeline, a way to process tough truths. I relate because growing up in Brooklyn, bro, I learned early that a quick joke can break tension. But it also signals you're paying attention and you got people's back. Wonger represents that energy for me. Bold, funny, but always ready to stand up for the crew, you heard? Sometimes the loudest voice is the safest harbor, and Wonger embodies that mix of bravado and care. Alright, next up at number 2, we got Kilik Rung. Kilik Rung is one of the students in the Soul Eater universe, a figure who embodies focus, discipline, and the willingness to push through hard fights with a calm exterior. Kilik's arc shows a person who trains, studies, and fights not just for glory, but for his crew's safety and the mission's purpose. His resolve under pressure makes him a dependable ally. I personally connect with this dude because he's steady, and he has a no-nonsense approach. The fact that he can fight through battles that demand more than raw power, they demand heart and patience. And as someone who's learned to navigate tough days with discipline and a steady plan, Kilik's quiet strength resonates with me. He's the kind of character who reminds you that consistency pays off and you don't always have to be flashy to be formidable. His type of leadership is showing up, doing the work, and having your team's back when it really fucking counts. Number 3, we got Dutch from Black Lagoon. Dutch is the steady, stoic leader of the Lagoon company. Cool, composed, and always ready to steer the crew through dangerous waters. He's the anchor in a world of chaos, a veteran fixer who values his people and acts with a calm confidence that steadies everyone around him. To me, Dutch embodies quiet strength, strategic thinking, and a sense of responsibility to his crew that mirrors a real-world leadership style that many people admire. I relate because growing up in a city where you learn to rely on your crew and handle risk with a level head, Dutch's leadership hits home. He's the voice of "we're in this together," and that's a big part of what I try to bring to my channel, my people, my community, etc. Sometimes the best power move is simply keeping a cool head and believing in the people you've chosen to stand with you. Alright, next up at number 4, we got Ogun Montgomery from Fire Force. Ogun is a fiery, charismatic fire soldier with a strong sense of camaraderie and a big heart for his squad. He blends passion and purpose, using his flame-based abilities to protect his people and push through dangerous tasks with courage and a smile. I feel like Ogun represents the fire in you, determination, optimism, and a willingness to lead with warmth even in the toughest moments. I'm all about energy, community, and lifting others up. Ogun's optimistic leadership and loyalty reflect the energy that I want to bring to my own circle, and to all of you guys watching too. I feel like Ogun proves that your heart can light someone else's way. He shows how to fight through hardships and still care deeply. Alright, next up we got Afro, from Afro Samurai. Afro is the legendary lone samurai in a world of vengeance, with a singular mission and a brutal, stylish presence. It's a story about a man who's weathered the worst kind of pain, yet keeps marching forward with style and a resolve that won't quit. Man, Afro is iconic, alright? His style, his grit, and the stark, brutal honesty of his journey makes him a groundbreaking anti-hero who still carries a deep moral spine. Honestly, it's super relatable because sometimes you're carrying your own war on your own terms. And Afro's determination to walk his path, even when the world is against him, yo, that resonates with me for real. On an identity and purpose level, you know? He's a badass on the surface, but with a core that's all about protecting the ones you care about and staying true to who you personally are, your personal code. Afro's probably a favorite for a lot of you, and I couldn't agree more. Alright, next up we got Ken Takagi, aka Rocklock from My Hero Academia. Ken Takagi, known as Rocklock, is a hero whose quirk is all about reconfiguring or locking things down. He's inventive, strategic, and a little outsider in a crowded hero world. Rocklock brings a mind for policy, planning, and protection, using his abilities to safeguard people and create space for others to thrive. I really love that he's a clever thinker who challenges systems in a way that ultimately is for the greater good. He's relatable as someone who uses his brains and courage to navigate a world that often optimizes and prioritizes raw power. I fucking love a character who values intellect, strategy, and solidarity, okay? Rocklock's balance of brains, heart, and a bit of rebellious spirit mirrors my own approach to storytelling and just life in general. Rocklock is proof that smart, principled action can change lives. Next up, we got Barro from Bleach, 1000-Year Blood War. Barro is a notable figure in the 1000-Year Blood War arc. He's a character whose presence challenges the heroes with a cunning and sharp mind. Lille operates with a strategic depth, weaving plans and power plays in a way that tests the protagonist's lines and loyalties. I love his complexity. I feel like a villain can usually make or break a show, and in this case, he made it. Lille's calculated presence adds tension and moral questions that fans have debated long after episodes had aired. I'm so drawn to characters who show that they have multiple facets to who they are, not just their power, not just their strength, but intention, choice, and the consequences of each move. Even antagonists can push you to grow. Lille reminds me that every arc has layers, including the gray areas that we all have to navigate through. Alright, next up we got my boy Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, Piccolo is green, we all know that. But we also all know that he's a black dude. Let's not lie here, come on, like respectfully. Like bro, his whole aura, his whole presence, and his leadership style hits home growing up in a black household. But more so, his moral compass hits hard. Piccolo is a Namekian who grows from antagonist to mentor, a father figure, and one of the strongest protectors of Earth. His arc is all about responsibility, sacrifice, and evolving beyond who you were to who you become for the sake of others. Most famously guiding Gohan and other young fighters to unlock their potential. Piccolo, for me and many others, embodies wisdom, discipline, and quiet strength. He's the archetype of power with purpose, proving you can be stern and compassionate at the same time. I've always valued mentorship, precision, and a steady hand within chaos. Piccolo's evolution, from rival to mentor to guardian, that speaks to me about growth, accountability, and the impact that you can have on the next generation. He is a reminder that leadership isn't just about raw power, it's about shaping others to be kinder, stronger, and more capable. Alright, next up we got Killer B from Naruto. Killer B is the legendary rapper and taijutsu powerhouse from the Hidden Cloud in Naruto Shippuden. big energy, big heart, and a magnetic personality. He blends humor, swagger, and ruthless efficiency in combat, all while carrying a deep sense of duty to protect his people and his allies. Killer Bee humanizes power with charisma, humor, and loyalty. He's unafraid to be himself, even when it would be easier just to blend in, an energy that a lot of fans have, myself included. We find that inspiring, you know? I'm drawn to authenticity, being unapologetically you while lifting others up. Killer Bee's leadership style can show you how to be strong, funny, and strategic all at once. He's proof not to be afraid to mix up your talents. The mic and the blade can share space if it means defending your crew. Alright, and at number 10 we got Kaname Tosen from Bleach. Kaname Tosen is a morally complex character whose actions prompt major questions about justice, truth, and how far someone will go to achieve their version of it. His choices force others to confront what justice means when the lines between right and wrong gets blurred, making him one of Bleach's most debated figures. His character invites discussion about ethics, sacrifice, and the cost of staying true to your ideals even when it hurts. I really do value integrity and critical thinking. Tosen's struggle, where justice becomes a weapon, pushes me to think about how I define what's right, when I must act, and how far I'll go for a cause that I believe in. Sometimes the hardest people to understand wake us up to a bigger question in life, and that's what really makes this character stand out. And last up, we got Koshio from Deadman Wonderland. Koshio is a part of the Deadman Wonderland cast. She's a character who cuts through the intensity of the world with grit. Her arc leans into resilience, wit, and using what you've got to survive a system that's stacked against you, you know? She demonstrates strength that isn't flashy, but it's earned, day by day, through cleverness and grit, resilience and resourcefulness, with the sense that you're building your own path. These are traits I see in Karako that reflect how many of us chase our own breakthroughs in life, real life, when the odds feel heavy. You gotta stay smart and steady. That persistence often carries you further than raw power ever will. Alright, so, closing thoughts. 1, these characters show that there are many ways to be powerful. Through leadership, wit, courage, mentorship, strategic thinking, or unbreakable resolve. They're not the one-note stereotypes. They're multifaceted, just like the people who cheer them on in real life. And 2, representation matters. When we see Black and Afro-Latino characters who lead, fight, teach, and laugh, the world feels a little larger, a little kinder, and a lot more possible. If you resonated with any of these characters, tell me in the comments below which character you relate to the most and why. Also, drop your own underappreciated favorites. I'm always looking for new voices to amplify and shine a light on, alright? So if you like this video, make sure to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss the next deep dive. Thanks for watching. Peace.